Silver has a, we have a mid-year high, all-time mid-year high, which attracts macro discretionary. And I'll admit, I was a little bit nervous. They weren't coming in as quickly as I thought they would. But now they're in, and they've been battling each other. Some are buying gold, some are buying copper, and that whole thing is going on. But, and this is key, just I'm telling you, long-term, it's going up. It's just going up.
Welcome to the Morning Markets and Metals with Vince Lanci, where each morning Vince brings you the financial and precious metals news to get you ready for your day. And now, here's Vince.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vince Lanci, and this is the Gold Fix Market Rundown for Friday. We're going to be discussing the two stories on the right-hand side of the page. Russia nationalizes its gold. That's a little bit hyperbolic, but it's effectively what's going on. And Mali seizes 117 million in gold from a Barrick mine amid a dispute. We're also going to discuss what those two things have in common, and they are mercantilism, nationalization, protectionism. Essentially, people are looking out for their national resources, Donald Trump included, by any means necessary. And we're going to explore that and those two stories in the main section, as well as go through what the metals are doing, why we think they're doing it, and why this could be the beginning of another big phase for all metals. There'll be no more hiding of the P of what you're short if this continues, we believe. All right, first, the markets. 10-year yields are up 4. The dollar is 97.86, up 29. Metals are up despite that. S&P 500 62.48, down 27. Love to see it when metals are up and the dollar is up. The VIX is 1674. Hold on, timeout. Yields are up, dollars up, and stocks are up. Okay, I got to think about that. Gold 33.49, up 25, catching up to silver at 37.56, up 57. Copper 5.42, down 12 cents, over 2%. WTI up 49 cents, 67.82. Natural gas 3.33, up 4 cents. Bitcoin 118,000, new all-time highs and starting to run in fits and starts, up 2,000. Palladium up 15, platinum down 14, gold, silver down 75, breaking new ground lower now. Grains are all down uniformly in percentage terms. Okay, looking at that board, there are macroeconomic neo-Keynesian correlations that just are not holding up today. The first one is the dollar is up and the metals are up. The second one is why is silver up and copper down? The third one is why is palladium up and platinum down? And each one of these is showing you the breakdown in neo-Keynesian correlations, and the relationships that we used to believe were true are no longer true. What I will say, just as a quick preview of the whole, let's go through the metals thing, chart thing, is that the metals, all commodities, but the metals right now are increasingly being price driven by who's panicking at that moment. Oh my God, I'm short copper, buy it. Oh my God, I'm short silver, buy it. This is what's happening right now because people can't see past their noses of their own short-term risk. And that's fine. That's what you're supposed to do. However, in the past, when you were long gold and you were worried about gold, you'd short silver. Well, now silver's going up. Well, cover your silver, put it into platinum. Well, now platinum's going up. Cover the platinum, put it into palladium. Now palladium's going up. The cycle of the hiding of the P is not working. You have to keep moving it around, robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's essentially a daisy chain of commodities that is starting to happen. And the daisy chain concept simply is this. You account for things being in more than one place at the same time. It's there. No, it's there. It's there. It's at the same time, it's in both places because you're not looking at both places. Another analogy to give you an idea, a very metal-specific analogy is there's gold in the Federal Reserve vault and there's gold in the JP Morgan vault. And there's a tunnel connecting them. Well, where's the gold? It's wherever you look for it. because picture a guy running back and forth in between the vaults with the gold. Oh, they're auditing JP Morgan, bring all the gold over there. Oh, they're auditing the Fed, bring it's daisy chaining. And we're not quite at literal daisy chaining yet. That's something that Kathleen Tyson had used in one of her stories, and it was a great use describing how finances can be hidden only for so long. But it's happening in metals now. You can't hide your shorts. You can't park your shorts somewhere else. Everything is, running in, and those things are running in. I mean, I'm getting into the whole and conversation now. Those things are being run in because Trump says we're protecting critical minerals, and that means copper. It also means silver. He just ain't going to say it, right? Russia says we're confiscating the gold from a certain mine. Mali says we're throwing Barrick out and taking their gold. Every nation is ring fencing natural resources. Okay. All right. So I got ahead of myself. First story: Russia nationalizes its gold effectively. Russian prosecutors have moved to seize the assets of billionaire Konstantin Strukov, marking a stark turn in the Kremlin's crackdown on oligarchs deemed insufficiently obedient. Strukov, long considered loyal to President Vladimir Putin, now faces criminal charges, asset forfeiture, and political exile. Strukov was once seen as a model Kremlin-aligned tycoon. He's being stripped of control over, I don't know how to say it, Uzhhorod, Russia's third largest gold producer. Prosecutors are pressing corruption charges and have asked the judiciary to transfer all of Strukov's assets, domestic and offshore, into state hands. He was reportedly detained on July 5th while attempting to fly to Turkey, with his passport now invalid. Well, if you're an authoritarian republic, you can't just arrest people and steal their gold. You have to have the law on your side. And why would Putin do that? Why would Putin turn on a loyal person? Well, he's an international financier in gold. They don't want the gold to leave. There's other reasons, but he's nationalizing the gold that needs to be nationalized. He's protecting the natural resource. Next story. Mali seizes $117 million in gold from Barrick mine amid dispute. Malian military helicopters landed unannounced at Barrick Gold's Luolo Junkoto complex Thursday, seizing over 1 metric ton of bullion worth more than $117 million. Helicopters, right? The move escalates a months-long standoff between the Canadian miner and Mali's military government. Barrick Gold confirmed that helicopters from the Mali government did arrive without warning and departed with approximately 2,204 pounds of refined gold, valued at $117.2 million, based on Thursday's price of $33.24 an ounce, and it's now worth more. The metal is reportedly in the hands of the provisional administration appointed by Bamako, although its final destination remains unclear. Well, I mean, this is a coup, right? I don't even know if it's a nation yet anymore. A national government, it's a provisional government. So it's a military dictatorship. That's what they're headed towards. And if you're a foreign miner operating in there, what are these nations going to do? They're going to extract more money for the value they're giving away. Evil Western colonialists. Mali's just going to pull a gun on you and say, give me the gold, right? Latin America, what are they going to do? This is mercantilism, right? This is the wheel of mercantilism. Wait, let me put that up for this. I have that in here somewhere. There we go. All right. I tried to get away from it, but it just wouldn't let me. Okay. Let's look at the world in discussing this gold, copper, rare earth stuff. In Russia, everyone wants to protect their natural resources, and they must do so in a public way that's palatable to their population, to their voters, to their subjects, to their military pals. All right. So We start with Russia. Russia wants to protect its gold. Well, find someone who's corrupt. They're all corrupt. Find someone who's corrupt that you have no use for. Arrest him, take his mine, and now you've protected a large chunk of gold. Not to mention the other miners are going to be a little bit more careful and probably offer to sell you more, give you more to keep their jobs. Let's move to other BRICS countries like Saudi Arabia or Indonesia. You have natural resources and you're constantly, let's say it's lithium. It actually happens this way. You're constantly selling your lithium to America. And you're like, I'm not getting enough for it. This is all part of the rebellion of the BRICS, right? The strike. You say, you know what? I'll give you my lithium, but I won't let you take it out of the country in raw form. You must build a factory here. You must employ people here. You must share your technology with us. So you protect your resource. You do that with gold as well, right? So now we move to the other current event, Mali. Well, that's a coup, a military coup, provisional government, which is basically a military dictatorship. So that's a military dictatorship. What do? You pull a gun on them. You say, you're not operating here anymore. But if you do, you have to give us our piece off the top. It's mafia. You move to a typical left-leaning Latin American country that has copper or silver or gold. How do they get more value from the miners, from the Western colonialists that are extracting? Well, you can't just take them over. The days of Pinochet are gone, right? What can you do? Well, you're left-leaning. You protect your workers. You go on strike. You tell your workers, you say to your workers, go on strike for more money. And they do, right? And that means money goes to the government. Money goes to the workers. What's another left thing you could do that looks palatable to the U.S., to the north, but at the same time gets you more money? Climate change. You can't strip mine here anymore. You're ruining the environment. Oh, if you pay us enough money, we'll let you strip mine. And that's how Latin America protects it. Or in the case of Argentina, you straight up cut a deal with the U.S. Our natural gas and our lithium are yours. Support us. Support us. However, we're supporting them. So now you move to North America, United States. We can't prohibit export. We're free markets. We can't talk, by the way, we can't talk about gold at all. Well, that's another conversation. What can we do? Well, we protect. This is all part of the MAGA concept. It ties in with MAGA. The big picture and the smaller picture are the same fucking picture, okay? When Trump says, I'm going to tax the import of copper raw materials, raw copper, at 50%, what's he doing? Well, he's making sure we don't buy any copper and that the mines we have make more copper. We have plenty of raw copper, okay? We're primarily an exporter. But when you raise the tariff on an item that you don't want to export or that you don't want to import, you make the other guy suffer. But domestically, what do? You encourage more mining. The price is up, more mining happens here, and you protect your refining business, which you want to get bigger. You want to make factories great again, right? Any factory you can. It starts with raw material refining. That's your supply chain, raw material refining, finished goods, right? So pull it out of the ground, refine it, and so you protect copper. So let's talk about silver in this context. Are we self-sufficient in copper? Yes, we have plenty of copper. We don't have finished copper. We need copper factories. Are we self-sufficient in silver? No. We import almost all of our silver now. So how do we get raw silver? Well, you don't tariff silver coming in. You prohibit silver going out. And we're doing that. You're just not seeing that. I talked to some industry people, and it's basically you're not encouraged to sell silver overseas, which goes along with gold. So the countries that sell silver to us, let's say Mexico, what are they going to do? They're going to say to the U.S., we're going to tax silver going to unless you give us a deal on something, right? So what's the U.S. doing? Tax the things we have that other people want, right? And don't tax the things we want to buy. So every nation on earth is going to not tax things they want to buy. And what's the one thing that every nation on earth wants to buy right now? Gold, silver, mercantilism. So what you're looking at is the whole world is doing the same thing with a local flavor. So no exportation. Here, let's use we'll use the graphic again. The whole world is prohibiting, dissuading, or punishing the export of precious metals from its border, outside of its border. The whole world is protecting, I'm sorry, wrong one. The whole world is protecting any raw materials that get sold. High taxes, prohibition, but they're not taxing things they want. Look, we want silver. We're not going to tax that shit. We have copper. We're going to make sure it doesn't get out. We're going to make the factories do it. It's amazing how it's playing out, and it's all playing out because the world is no longer global. You better fix your own supply chains, and the beginning of every supply chain is the raw material. All right, so those are the stories. I went off there a little bit. All right, next. Related post. I'm going to give you the post we put up recently, very recently, yesterday, and give you one line of what they're about. Why gold is a long, long way from the top. Debt and denial are the reasons. We're going to be spending more and not less. That's why gold's not at the top. It's just something I had to do to make sure I wasn't crazy. Mini podcast, The Founders, White Gold is where to invest next. The next theme tied to rebuilding American manufacturing has arrived, and the Pentagon has said so. By investing, we're taking control of 50% of a company that specializes in lithium and rare earths. What's the real reason Powell isn't cutting? Well, that's because of fiscal slop jeopardizing bonds. That's also why gold is a long, long way from the top. And then there's the news that we just discussed. Mali seizes, Russian national meltdown. And we left up this gold stablecoins and next well because we believe the way to rescue the US dollar in a mercantilist protectionist world is going to be create a dollar that can cross borders for replace the euro dollar market with something better. That's what that is. All right, so coming soon. That's what we did. Coming soon is the white gold. That'll be the follow-up on that. Onshoring critical metals starts with copper and it ends with lithium. I think we're talking about that now. And when to sell your gold. We are going to do that piece, when to sell your gold. And the answer is not for a long time. Okay. Data on deck, Friday, U.S. federal budget deficit. And let's do the charts and final market check. What are my notes here? It doesn't matter. All leverage will die in metals. Things are happening faster now with less space in between problems in metals. Okay, I think I said that at the beginning. So let's go metal by metal. All right. Let's start with gold. So there's gold's daily. So you shouldn't be too excited about gold. It's still in the middle of that range and that random line I drew bifurcating the actual range. That's all it is. Gold will be the last thing to rally if I'm right about this. And then it'll just drag everything higher. Silver. Silver is far more interesting. Silver has we have a mid-year high, all-time mid-year high, which attracts macro discretionary. And I'll admit, I was a little bit nervous. They weren't coming in as quickly as I thought they would. But now they're in, and they've been battling each other. Some are buying gold, some are buying copper, and that whole thing is going on. But, and this is key, just I'm telling you, long-term, it's going up. It's just going up. Short-term, for those of you looking for an indication, I get these signals, and the last time I got one was here, and that proved to be a bullish signal that paid off. And yesterday's close, I alerted subscribers that I got another one, and I actually added to my position. So I'm not irresponsibly long yet, but I added to it. And I just don't think let me just forget my opinion. As long as we stay above 36.94 on a closing basis, this market's probably going to go to $38.50 in a day or two, and then $40 will be a heartbeat away. So silver short term is validating the long term momentum you get from people like Michael Oliver. So this is kind of like uh, a confirmation, right? This is like if you get a long term momentum signal and then you get a short term momentum signal, well, the short term one's going to be that much better. Palladium and platinum. I don't really have a feel for palladium, but I will say that the world had been long palladium and short platinum forever. That trade got blown out of the water starting in June, and now people are getting long platinum and short palladium. And so you're going to have these volatile, what do I do now? What every people that are not long-term oriented are getting whipped, right? It's like emotional volatility from these markets. Now, if you're looking purely at palladium, obviously you have another structure that's building up here, but it's lagging. So maybe palladium is the last one to benefit. However, a Russian announcement would make palladium go up right away. Now let's look at platinum. Let me get rid of the Bollinger Bands. Platinum, right? Same idea. I mean, everything is doing the same thing now. And gold, for a change, is not like, here's gold structure. Everything ran up and now has these little structures up top. Here's gold structure. It's almost like gold has stopped and said, everybody catch up, right? So platinum, palladium, I don't have a good feel for. I guess what I'm saying with regards to the metals is you're running out of places to hide if you're short any of the metals. The EFP in silver is indicating more fears of tariffs, and they're probably not going to come. He's not going to, I mean, I would be surprised if Trump announced a tariff on the imports of a raw material we need. Right now, banks that want silver are going around trying to buy concentrate that's already been locked down by China. See, we're late to the party, but we'll figure it out eventually. Platinum, palladium, I don't know. I want to talk about Bitcoin for 1 second, though. What I've noticed, and it's an observation, right? It could be wrong. Bitcoin has been, I should have the stock market up there as well. I don't. Bitcoin has been rallying along with metals now. It's kind of like it was a tech stock, right? Behaving like a tech stock. And now it's behaving more like a commodity. So whether you like it or not, Bitcoin is becoming a darling of the dollar hedging scenario. And it is, a lid is kept on it as Blackstone accumulates. And all these treasury firms that are being created, they're a disaster waiting to happen, but that disaster probably won't happen for years because the government is endorsing it. Okay. I guess when it comes down to it, all the things that we have been talking about, you know, mercantilism and what have you, protectionism, bullionism, it's really about natural resources. That's protectionism. But when you start protecting your gold supply, that's unabashed mercantilism. And all the things that were happening before, that were happening at a slower pace, are starting to accelerate. I mean, Trump is coming right out and protecting aluminum, steel, and copper, right? And we're working on rare earths right now. What are we doing? We're saying to China, we want nothing to do with you. Little by little, that's what we're saying. And China is doing the same thing. They're just not announcing it the way we are. All right, I'm Vince. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Well, thank you, Vince, as always, for keeping us posted on everything that is going on in the precious metals world. And thank you at home for watching. I sure hope you enjoyed that and appreciate you spending part of your day here. And before we wrap up, I did want to thank Dolly Varden Silver, who kindly sponsored today's show. And it's nice, this week I am at the Rick Rule Symposium in Boca Raton, where Dolly Varden and CEO Sean Kunkin, as well as a couple of the other great members of their team, are there, which is certainly good timing. Obviously, in addition to the rising silver price,
you also have that Dolly Varden has been increasing their land package, also out drilling, and really has made a lot of progress in these past couple of years since Sean took over. And for a quick word on how things are coming along, well, here's Sean.
What we did going back in April is we decided to list our shares on the NYSE American. And we did that because there are only 10 companies on the New York Stock Exchange that are giving investors exposure to silver. And now Dolly Varden is one of those companies. So we're open to the biggest market in the world. We've got our shares there, and then after we had more eyeballs and more buyers and more investors come into the company, the share price lifted, and we took our shares that had gone up and we used them to buy depressed assets, to buy assets for pennies on the dollar. And we went and these junior companies that are out there in the world, it's very tough times, very, very, very tough times for the juniors. And we've been very fortunate that we've had some very supportive, large institutional shareholders, people like Eric Sprott that have come and supported our business. Hecla Mining has been a big supporter of our business. And so through that shareholder support, we have gone out and we've done exploration, we've made discoveries, we've gotten very, very active, acquiring these incredible past treasures and, some of the richest silver mines in Canada.
Well, thank you, Sean. Really nice to see what you guys have been moving forward and hear a little bit more from Sean from our last call where he gave a really good overview of what they're doing at Dolly, how things are going. Well, just click on the video that's coming your way now.